Welcome back to Beyond the Label, folks. I'm Eric Marquette, joined by my brilliant co-host, Ruby Sturt. Today we're digging into a big myth that's worn thin. This idea that the best carers, the noblest ones, are those who just give and give until there's nothing left. You know, self-sacrifice as the gold standard.
Yeah, spot on, Eric. I remember when I was growing up, the unspoken rule at home was always, put everyone else first. Especially caring for Sam and Tash, my siblings. Anyone who even mentioned having time to themselves was called selfish or maybe a bit soft, you know? Feels like that idea still lingers everywhere.
Right, and Jane Fresno's article spells it out too. When we're told self-sacrifice is what care is all about, we end up, well, burnt to a crisp. Guilt, resentment, exhaustion, all bubbling up. The irony is, once caregivers run themselves into the ground, the quality of care slips as well. Nobody wins.
Absolutely. Fresno says straight up, neglecting your own needs doesn't just harm you, it flows straight onto the people you're caring for. And it's sneaky. You think you're helping by pushing through, but that tiredness or short fuse, it seeps into every part of caring.
It does. I had that work non-stop, grind yourself down mindset early in my career. Thought it'd impress colleagues, maybe even convince myself I was indispensable. But honestly, the work I was producing got worse. I was snappier, missed details, just less fun to be around. That's when it finally clicked for me. If I didn't look after myself, everyone, colleagues, listeners, felt it. I suspect it's just as true in care roles, if not more so.
Yeah, it's like we can't pour from an empty cup, right? That's a cliche, but it's true for a reason. So let's talk real-world self-care, not just the take a bath, light a candle advice that never fits anyone's actual life. Fresno's advice on self-care for caregivers is a lifesaver, honestly. She talks about things that actually fit a busy day, like short mindfulness breaks, or even just chucking on a meditation app for 5 minutes while the kettle's boiling. I love that because who's got an hour spare?
Yeah, it's about cutting through that idea that self-care needs to be this big, elaborate routine. I like Fresno's bit on quick exercise, 10-minute stretching routines, brisk walks, even involving care recipients where you can. It's about doing what works, not what looks good on Instagram.
You know, I started doing this thing. If I get 10 minutes before bed, even just a sliver of quiet, I'll pick up my old Remington typewriter. I'll give it a little clean, fix a ribbon, or just tap some keys. I know, it sounds weird, but the clack and ding, that's my mini ritual. I reckon any small, repeated thing can recharge you if it feels like yours.
No, I love that. Routines like that can be anchors, right? And including the person you're caring for, inviting them to stretch with you, maybe share a podcast, whatever fits, it can become part of your shared rhythm and improve both your well-being.
It's that thing of letting self-care sneak in, not making it another big task on your list. You said earlier, Eric, it isn't about the highlight reel. It's about those tiny resets that actually work for us, day to day.
But it's not always easy to start, is it? Fresno's article lays out some real barriers. Guilt, lack of time, feeling like you're flying solo with nowhere to ask for help. That guilt, especially, is tough to shake. You end up convincing yourself you don't deserve a break.
I felt that hard, especially when I first tried setting boundaries, or even admitting out loud I needed support. There's this whisper in your head going, seriously? You can't handle it on your own? Took me ages to get past that. And then I found this little regional carers group. I nearly walked back out at the door. Policy talk makes me get all fumbly on the words. But staying changed everything. Hearing other people say, yeah, I feel that too. It's like unzipping the pressure suit for a second.
That's powerful, Ruby. Fresno mentions setting boundaries and reaching out isn't failing. It's clever. It's necessary. Sometimes building a support network means looking for local meetups or even joining an online group if that feels safer. It's flexibility too, fitting support around your own rhythms and limits.
Exactly. And the whole thing about flexible routines, You don't need to stand your ground 24/7. Learn to ask for help before you're teetering on the edge. That's not a weakness. It's honestly how you stick around long enough to keep caring without breaking yourself. So let's get practical. Taking Fresno's advice, building a sustainable self-care plan really comes down to 3 things: routine, support, and boundaries. First, pick a self-care activity you know you can manage, like a short break for stretching or some mindful breathing, and actually put it in your daily schedule. Even just scribble it on a sticky note. Make it official.
And reach out to people proactively, rather than waiting until you're desperate. It can be as simple as texting a mate to have a check-in every Thursday, or joining a forum where you know someone will respond. That kind of structure creates a net, so you're not scrambling alone if things go sideways.
Setting boundaries. Oh, that's a scary one, isn't it? But crucial. Saying, "I'm not available after 8 p.m., or "I need a night off." The act of saying it out loud reinforces it to others, but also to yourself. It's not just about learning when to say no to others, but learning to say yes to your own needs.
Yes, and what Fresno points out is if you can practice that boundary setting now, even in small ways, you're actually setting yourself up for a healthier, longer run as a carer. It's not selfish, it's strategic. Your well-being protects the people you care for too. Of course, the trick isn't just starting these routines, it's keeping them up. Fresno recommends a weekly review, just checking in with yourself. What worked? What slipped? Adjust your plans as your week shifts. Maybe you need more rest after a rough patch, or can add a bit more if things are calm.
Tracking helps so much. Like, use a journal, or one of those well-being apps if you're into that. If you spot early signs, snapping faster, skipping meals, headaches sneaking in, that's your cue. Don't wait till burnout hits. Notice those signals early. I'm terrible at remembering, so I set reminders for everything. Stretch, ring mum, even sit outside for 5 minutes.
That consistency is what makes self-care sustainable. Fresno says, set up those reminders so that even when life gets mad, small rituals aren't the first thing to drop. It's a habit, like brushing your teeth, not a luxury. The more you weave it in, the less likely you'll lose it under pressure.
Yeah, it's all about momentum. It doesn't have to be perfect, just persistent. If you fall off one week, don't make it a crisis. Just pick up where you can, no guilt. So, as we wrap, long-term sustainability. Fresno suggests doing a deeper check every month or so. Is my self-care plan working? Do I need to tweak anything? Maybe your needs changed or something just isn't helpful anymore. Being flexible is the best armor you've got.
And don't underestimate the difference peer support makes. Even if it's a message chain with other carers, swapping tips or just venting every so often, it keeps you accountable and less alone. Over time, that regular connection can make sticking with self-care feel more natural, less of a battle with yourself.
And I reckon, don't be afraid to revisit and adapt your routine seasonally. Life changes, jobs shift, family needs evolve. Your self-care needs can, and should, flex around what's really happening. Being kind to yourself in that way just makes you a better carer, not a weaker one.
Absolutely. Look, we hope these ideas land for anyone out there struggling with the whole self-sacrifice equals caring myth. Your well-being isn't just important, it's everything. We'll keep bringing more practical advice, real stories and support for our community every week. Ruby, thanks for sharing your stories today.
Thank you, Eric. And thanks so much to everyone listening. Remember, you can reach out via our socials or email if you want to share your own self-care hacks. See you all next episode and be kind to yourselves, okay?
Take care, everyone. Until next time.